Matters of urgent public importance. Honorable Abejide. Yes, once you resolve with the Honorable, is resolved? Okay. So Honorable Abejide and then Honorable Dozier. Is he moving it? No, okay. Honorable Abejide, go ahead. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Leke Abejide. I represent the good people of Yagbafera constituency. I'm from Kogi State. I arise under Order 8, Rule 4, to move a motion of urgent public importance, and I want to create the indulgence of the House to enable me at the second leg for us to suspend the relevant rules for me to be able to move this motion on the urgent need to declare a state of emergency on access roads to Apapa, Tinkan Island, PTML, and Kirikiri Lighter Command in Zone A of Nigeria Customs Service. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Leader, please, Chairman Business will see you. He will discuss with you. Okay, so any second, Honorable Luga.
Right, Honorable.
Congrats on your empowerment. We heard about it.
Thank you, sir. Respected colleagues, I am Representative Taiwo Oluga. I am from Osun State. I speak for the people of Irewole Ayedade Ishoko Federal Constituency. Sir Speaker, I rise to second the motion moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable Abejide.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Leke Abejide. Urgent needs to declare a state of emergency on access road to Apapa, Tinkan, PTML, and Kirikiri Lighter Terminal Commands in Zone A of Nigeria Customs Service. The House knows that the Committee on Custom and Exercise embarked on a week-long oversight of Zone A of Nigeria Customs Service Command to ascertain the level of revenue generation and also to find out their challenges in order to find a way of addressing them using custom budget of 2021. Also note that the committee haven't gone around the commands under a very difficult terrain. So much anomalies were discovered that if not tackled headlong, the Nigerian ports are at the risk of imminent and total collapse. Aware that businesses, commuters, and residents along these access routes see hell on a daily basis as they are subjected to nuisance, pollution, and emission to the environment. Also aware that due to the challenges of inaccessibility of the ports, it takes an average of 60 days to do a turnaround of a container, whereas should there be an easy access to the port, the turnaround within Lagos will not be more than 5 days. The implication to us is that the country is losing an average of 5 times the revenue it would have made if the access routes were good. Further aware that despite the stated challenges, the Nigeria Customs Service in 4 commands mentioned above, within Apapa, Tinkan Island, PTMN, and Kirikiri Lighter Terminal, make average of 100 billion naira in a month. This would have translated to 500 billion naira monthly if access road leading to these ports were to be in order. In fact, that were 2 months of Nigeria custom revenue from this command be dedicated to facilitate the access roads and needed infrastructure, the revenue dedicated will be recovered in full in less than a month, sharply increasing our revenue in a manner will stem frequency of loans from China and other countries, of which we cannot predict the future implication of these loans that we are taking. Worried that further aggravating traffic chaos are most of the shipping companies, which continue to operate their empty containers receiving bay within the perimeter of the ports, rather than relocating the base and the logistic park outside the ports, and employing the use of barges as transport alternative for both importers and exporters toward reducing traffic on the port roads. The House notes that this should be done using private terminals such as ESS Libra in Ibese and government warehouses at Ikorodu government warehouse to return empty containers and get in export through these areas instead of coming in through the port to decongest the roads. Also worried that major terminal operators, the likes of APMT, which is AP Mola, the Apapa concessionaire, and TICT, Tinkan Airline concessionaire, continue to operate analog gate-in and gate-out system, and yet they have not automated their gate-in system. Their terminal delivery order, which is their ticket, is still analog. It's supposed to be automated in using to open and close the gate instead of human contact. The use of automated ticket will eliminate human contact, which are proven to breed bottlenecks and corruption. Concerned that in addition to the poor condition of the port access route, extortions by officials of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Security Department, Police, and Presidential Task Force remain the major cause of unending gridlock along the port access route, with stakeholders as importers, clearing agents, and truck owners alleging that they are forced to pay as much as 250,000 to 280,000 per truck for entries and exits to the port. These apparatus, making the stakeholders at the expense of the nation, should be held accountable, while the task force has demonstrated that it has outlived its usefulness, should be disbanded forthwith. The House resolved: 1. Urge the federal government to declare a state of emergency on Nigerian port access road and dedicating greater part of 2 months' revenue generated by these 4 commands of Apapa, Tinkan Island, Kirikiri Lighter Terminal, and PTMA for construction of the access road leading to the command in order to complete the road in 2 months for optimal revenue for the country. 2. Direct the shipping lines to forthwith get in exports and empty containers by sea to the port through the waterways by barges directly to the vessels or the terminals where the vessel should pick them. 3. Urge the Nigerian Port Authority and relevant security agencies and apparatus to ensure immediate cease and desist of extortion activities going on at the ports and port access route. 4. Urge the federal government to immediately disband the Presidential Task Force on Port Access Route having outlived its usefulness and for participating in extortion and contributing to congestion of the port access route. And finally, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, mandate the House Committee on Custom and Excise to report to the House in 6 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable. Can you read your first prayer again, please?
My first prayer is urge the federal government to declare a state of emergency on Nigerian port access route and dedicating greater part of 2 months revenue generated by the 4 commands of Apapa, Tinkan Island, Kirikiri Lighter Terminal, and PTML command for the construction of the access road leading to this command in order to complete the route in 2 months for optimal revenue.
Okay. What does it mean to declare a road state of emergency?
Yes,
I don't want us to use the phrase state of emergency. I want us to use it and make it matter when we use it. How do you declare a road under state of emergency? I don't understand.
Sir, we can put it this way, that the honorable colleagues, we can use the appropriate word, maybe like make it an urgent intervention.
Yeah, I agree with that. So that when we do talk about state of emergency, it will carry a lot of weight. Otherwise, everything will be state of emergency. So I agree with just. So maybe you can just, if somebody can second it and then amend that phrase state of emergency.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Honorable Osai.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I think the appropriate word, since there's people like MPA have the internally generated revenue, so the House can appropriate money using the internally generated revenue.
Are you debating or seconding?
No, what I'm saying is that in amending,
Okay.
appropriate,
Okay.
use the appropriate word to amend it.
No, but second first.
I second the motion as moved.
Okay. And then,
Addendum for amendment.
because I don't think we're going to debate the motion, so you can just move straight to the amendment.
Yeah, the amendment will be the House should be able to appropriate the internal generated revenue of MPA, because they have their own different budget. Internal generated revenue of MPA to be able to address the road infrastructure at the port.
But I'm not sure if that's the right amendment. The amendment we're seeking for prayer one is a declaration as to the urgent need for quick repairs. Instead of using the word state of emergency.
If we want urgent needs, let the House appropriate budgetary head in 2021 budget.
No, that's something we want the House to do. But the first prayer, he's wanting us to declare it a state of emergency.
It is only executive that can declare a
Exactly.
state of emergency on that aspect.
So we're looking for the right term and phrase. Instead of saying declare state of emergency, that the House declare that there's an urgency to the road or something, is what he's trying to say. Elder, do you have an amendment to that particular?
I think, Mr. Speaker, my name is Jerry Alabosa. I'm from Imo State. Mr. Speaker, Leke has just come back from oversight function from Port Harcourt and Lagos. What he was trying to say in terms of amendment is this: the federal government to intervene especially on that route by using the monthly collection of Apapa, Tinkan, and Port Express and NPA to intervene in the rehabilitation of the roads. That's what he's trying to say. And I think
So do we just remove declare a state of emergency? Just remove that. So that's the amendment to delete declare a state of emergency. We're not deleting the whole of prayer one. We're deleting that portion that says declare a state of emergency.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So those in favor of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against it, say nay. Ayes have it. Any other matter? Okay, so we move on. Honourable members, the first business of the day is a motion on admittance into the. Okay, we're going to skip that. The second business of the day is presentation of 21 bills, and I invite the clerk to read its short title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, National Social Investment Programs Establishment Bill 2020, first reading. Finance Bill 2020, first reading. Federal Capital Territory Statutory Appropriation Bill 2021, first reading. Prohibition of Secret Recruitment in Federal Civil Service Bill 2020, first reading. National Institute for Peace Support Operations and Humanitarian Studies Bill 2020, first reading. National Defense College Bill 2020, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2020, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2020, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2020, first reading. Mary and Babangida National Center for Women Development Establishment Bill 2020, first reading. Institute of Economists of Nigeria Bill 2020, first reading. Transition and Assumption of Office Bill 2020, first reading. Broadcasting Practitioners Council Bill 2020, first reading. Nigerian Press Council Act Amendment Bill 2020, first reading. Northeast Development Commission Act Amendment Bill 2020, first reading. Trafficking in Persons Prohibition Enforcement and Administration Act Amendment Bill 2020, first reading. National Emergency Management Agency Establishment Act Amendment Bill 2020, first reading. Immigration Act Amendment Bill 2020, first reading. Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ubuofia Okunano, Enugu State Establishment Bill 2020, first reading. Federal Medical Center, Chokocho, River State Establishment Bill 2020, first reading. Federal College of Agriculture, Umajuke, River State Bill, first reading.
Of the day is presentation of 3 reports of the Committee on Public Petitions, standing in the name of Honorable Jerry Alagbaso. Honorable Alagbaso is invited to present the reports.
Thank you, our performance speaker, our colleagues. My name is Jerry Alagbaso. I'm from Imo State, representing our law of Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to present the following reports from the Committee on Public Petitions. 1, report on the petition by Mr. Baba Yusuf against NACO, Free Trade Zone, on the breach of NAFTA, Nigeria Customs Service, Immigration, NDLEA, NCAA, ABEC regulations, and corporate governance structure that are compromising national security and threat to national economy. 2, report on the petition by Tony Usman and Associates on behalf of the junior workers of the National Union of Food Beverages and Tobacco Employees against Mr. Latifi Oyeleko, the national president of the above union, a call on the National Assembly to save Nigeria junior workers in the Food Beverages and Tobacco Employees Trade Union. 3, The report of the petition by Nnaemeka Ejiofor and Associates on behalf of the management of state consuls against Central Bank on the termination and management information or dormant account balances within the Nigeria financial system for compensation. I here present, Mr. Speaker.
Uchenna.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues. My name is Honorable Bid Uchenna Eke. I represent the good people of Abombise, Ngobala Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion that the House do receive these three important reports from the Committee on Public Petitions as moved by my ranking, by age, and by everything. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. So please lay the reports. The first order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Federal Capital Territory Administration Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Capital Territory Administration account the total sum of 199,240,531,350 naira only, of which the sum of 63,620,646,865 naira only is for the personnel costs, and the sum of 55,393,961,085 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 80,225,923,400 naira only is for capital projects. For the service of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, for the financial year commencing 1st of January and ending when the 2021 FCT Statutory Appropriation Act comes into effect. Honorable members, we recollect that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Tuesday, 8th December 2020, and I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read a third time. Leader.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. I'm turning it to be my own. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Alhassan Ado Dogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent Dogwa Chudungwada Federal Constituency. Honorable members, I'm from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Federal Capital Territory Administration Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Capital Territory Administration account the total sum of 199,245,350 naira only, of which sum of 63,620,646,865 naira only is for personnel cost, and the sum of 55,393,961,085 naira only is for overhead cost, while the balance of 80,225,923,400 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory Abuja for the financial year commencing 1st January and ending when Statutory Appropriation Act comes into effect, HB 1102. I move that this bill be read the third time. Honorable members, I so move.
Okay. Chairman, Business and Rules, can you second, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I am Abubakar Safulata. I represent Berniwa, Krikasama, Furi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved by the leader of the House that the FCT bill, budgetary bill, be read the third time. I so second.
Honourable members, the question is that the bill be now read the third time. Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Federal Capital Territory Administration Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Capital Territory Administration account, the total sum of 199 billion, 240 million, 531,350 naira only, of which the sum of 63 billion, 620 million, 646,865 naira only is for personnel costs, and the sum of 55 billion, 393 million, 961,085 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 80 billion, 225 million, 923,400 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, for the financial year commencing 1 January and ending when the 2021 FCT Statutory Appropriation Act comes into effect. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. The second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of a National Transport Commission as an independent multi-model regulator for the regulated transport industry sector and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the bill was transmitted from the Senate, seeking concurrence of the House and read the first time on Thursday, 3rd December 2020. I now invite the Leader to move that the bill be now read a second time. House Leader.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues. Once again, Ado Dogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I represent Dogwa Chudungwada Federal Constituency. I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise to move that a bill for an act to provide for establishment of National Transport Commission as an independent multimodal regulator for the regulated transport industry sector and for related matters, HB 1082, a Senate bill to be read the second time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
What are you doing there, Rosai? Huh? You are dreaming. It's not every dream that comes true. You can second from there.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Asai Nicholas Asai. I am from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleague, I rise to second the motion for the second reading of the bill. You also realize that this bill is already in the committee of the whole House, so joining them together is good. So I so second.
Those in support that this bill be read the second time, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. So the bill is referred to the Committee of the Whole. Third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to repeal the National Health Insurance Scheme Act, CAP N42, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Health Insurance Authority Bill 2020. And for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader, honorable members will recall that the bill was transmitted from the Senate, seeking concurrence of the House, and read the first time on Thursday, 3rd December 2020. I now invite the Leader to move that the bill be read a second time. Leader.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, I rise once again to move that a bill for an act to repeal the National Health Insurance Scheme Act, CAP 42, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Health Insurance Authority Bill 2020 and for related matters, HB 1117, a Senate bill. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I therefore move that this bill be read the second time. I so move.
Honorable Linda, can you please second? You were not sure what we were.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
I'd like to second the motion.
What are you seconding?
The bill.
Eh?
I can see Mr. Speaker.
Which bill?
It's a Senate bill, Mr. Speaker, as moved by the Leader of the House. As moved by the Leader of the House. Yes.
Okay. What is the bill about?
Mr. Speaker, you want me to read what he had already read?
Yes.
That would be wrong for me to read it.
No, just give us an idea. What's it? Because I wasn't listening.
No,
So
Speaker, I know very well you listened, and I know you're looking at it. It's establishment of national transport. It's just you know that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'd like to second that, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. So, bill ably moved by the House Leader and ably supported by Honorable Leader. Those in support that bill be read a second time. Aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, we did not read the long title of the last one, so you read both together, please.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide for establishment of National Transport Commission as an independent multimodal regulator for the regulated transport industry sector and for related matters, second reading, and a bill for an act to repeal the National Health Insurance Scheme Act, CAP N42, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Health Insurance Authority Bill 2020 and for related matters, second reading.
Okay, bill referred to the Committee of the Whole. The fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Institute of Animal Science Act, CAP N150, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. And for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Gideon Gwani, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 7th July 2020, and I invite Honorable Gwani to move that the bill be now read a second time. Honorable Gwani is not here. Can we step down, please? He's here? He's not here. Please, let's step down. Okay, so Bill step down. The fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Police Trust Fund Act. Is Honorable Francis here? Okay, can we step that down? Honorable Olajide Olatuboso, is he here? Okay, so we step down the Honorable Francis bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Francis is not on the floor. I move that the constitution of the second reading of the bill be stepped down by the leader of the House. I also move, Mr. Speaker.
Bill step down. Commencement of debate of the general principle of a bill for an act to alter the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1999, Cap C-23, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to make further provisions relating to the time within which to file and determine election petitions and appeals, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Olajide Olatubosun. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 21st July 2020, and I invite Honorable Olatubosun to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my honorable colleagues. My name is Olajide Olatubosun. I represent the people of Atisbo, Shaki East and Shaki West Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Oyo State. I rise to move a motion for a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to make further provisions relating to the time within which to file and determine election petitions and appeals, and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I so move.
Honorable Soro, your mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Mansour Manu Soro. I speak for the good people of Darozo Ganjua Federal Constituency. I am from Bauchi State. I rise to second the motion as moved by my colleague, Honorable Olajide. I so second.
Honorable Olatubosun. Just quickly, 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I remain Olajide Olatubosun. Let me crave your indulgence to highlight the background to this bill.
which provide insights into the gaps in the Constitution that the bill seeks to fill. Mr. Speaker, in this country, there was a time that election petition can be in the tribunal or trial courts for about 3 years for an office that has a 4-year tenure. In order to cure this mischief, the constitution was amended to give a maximum of 180 days, for which you have to file, and the petition will be determined from the tribunal to the Court of Appeal and, if possible, the Supreme Court. But over the years, Mr. Speaker, the Supreme Court has repeatedly emphasized that the various timelines provided in Section 285 of our Constitution relating to petitions are meant to operate as limitation laws. That means whatever happens, they are not ready to give a day after the 180 days. If not for time, Mr. Speaker, I would have read judicial authorities in Uber and Ano versus Susan and others, where the Supreme Court says their hands are tied and they cannot give an extra day once the 180 days are exceeded. That means this House has a responsibility to cure this mischief and ensure that Nigerians who approach election tribunals or the trial courts to seek redress where they feel they've been cheated or elections are rigged don't become helpless due to the affliction of time. So what I want this Honorable House to do, Mr. Speaker, is to amend Section 285 of the Constitution by inserting immediately a new subsection 9 to the effect that where there is a force majeure, for instance, this year we had lockdown in this country due to COVID-19. Abuja and Lagos and other cities were locked down for some time, and because of that, our courts could not sit, except in few cases when they have a criminal matter. So, if this section is amended, then the timeline for calculating the number of days will now take into consideration the days that the courts could not open due to force majeure. That's like an act of God. It could be lockdown, it could be earthquake, God forbid, or any other natural disaster. It could be NSAS that made the court not to sit, so that litigants or petitioners that are approaching the court can get justice. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to lead this debate, and I urge you to, and my other colleagues, to throw your full weight behind this bill to advance the course of jurisprudence of our electoral law as we continue to make progress in the journey of our democracy. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and my dear honorable colleagues, for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
So we'll just put the question. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1999 to make further provisions relating to the time within which to file and determine election petitions and appeals, and for related matters. Second reading.
Okay, so the bill is referred to the Special Article Committee on Review Review of the Constitution. Seventh order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend sections 2, 4, 7, 11, and 15 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act, Cap C 52, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for rehabilitation of delinquent children, provide a comprehensive definition for services, stakeholders, and children or wards as captured in the Enabling Act by providing a role for community-based organizations in the development of basic education in states and local government councils, to include senior secondary education as part of the basic education in Nigeria, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Taiwo Oluga, Honorable Victor Mela, Honorable Mansour Manu Soro, Honorable Pascal Obi, and Honorable Kolade Akinjo. Honorable members recall that the bill was consolidated on Thursday, 3rd December 2020, and I invite Honorable Oluga to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished honorable colleague, my name is Representative Taiwo Oluga. I speak for the people of Rewoli Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Osun State. I rise this afternoon to move that a bill for an act to amend section 2, 4, 7, 11, and 15 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act, Cap C 52, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for rehabilitation of delinquent children, provide a compulsory definition for services, stakeholders, and children or what as captured in the Enabling Act, by providing a role for community-based organization in the development of basic education in states and local government councils, to include senior secondary education as part of basic education in Nigeria, and for related matters, 8B this. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
So, Honorable Mansour Soro or Honorable Pascal? Honorable Mansour Soro, are you here? Yeah, please second.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Mansour Manu Soro. I speak for the good people of Daros Ganjua Federal Constituency. I am from Bauchi State. I rise to second that a bill for an act to amend sections 247, 11, and 15 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act, Cap C 52, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for the rehabilitation of delinquent children, provide a comprehensive definition for services, stakeholders, and children awards have captured the Enabling Act by providing a role for community-based organizations in the development of basic education in states and local government councils, to include senior secondary education as part of basic education in Nigeria, and for related matters, be read the second time. I so second.
Okay, Honorable Luga, if you don't mind, and your co-sponsors, if we can just, instead of leading the debate, just put the question in the interest of time. Is that okay? Or you have something important you want to add to it? Okay, It's okay, all right. So we'll put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend sections 2, 4, 7, 11, and 15 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act, Cap C 52, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for rehabilitation of delinquent children, provide a comprehensive definition for services,
Honorable Koko, go to your seat.
stakeholders and children
You are wasting
awards,
people's time.
as captured in the Enabling Act, by providing a role for community-based organizations in the development of basic education in states and local government councils, to include senior secondary education as part of basic education in Nigeria, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Basic Education and Services. A is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to repeal the Explosives Act, Cap E18, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact Explosives Bill to make comprehensive provisions for the use and control of explosives in Nigeria and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Rimande Shawulu and Honorable Sejios Ogun. Honorable members recall that the bills were consolidated on Thursday, 3rd December 2020. I now invite Honorable Shawulu to move that the bill be now read a second time. So Honorable Shawulu here? No. The bill, second reading of the bill, step down. Okay. Chairman Business, can you step down the next one too? Oh, okay, it's your own, sorry. The ninth order of the day is a motion on reconsideration of outstanding bills from the preceding assembly pursuant to order 12 Rule 16 of the Standing Order of the House of Representatives, standing in the name of Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata. Honorable Fulata is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Samfulata. I represent Berniwa, Krikasama, Gudi Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Jigawa State. Reconsideration of outstanding bills from the preceding assembly pursuant to Order 12, Rule 16 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives. Mr. Speaker, House notes that pursuant to Order 12, Rule 16 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, bills passed by the preceding assembly and forwarded to the Senate for concurrence, for which no concurrence was made, or negatived, or passed by the Senate and forwarded to the House, for which no concurrence was made, or negatived, or which were passed by the National Assembly and forwarded to the President for assent, but for which assent or withholding thereof was not communicated before the end of the tenure of the Assembly. The House may resolve that such bills, upon being regazetted or clean copies circulated, be reconsidered in the Committee of the Whole without being commenced de novo. Also notes that the aforementioned bills were passed by the preceding Assembly and forwarded to the President for assent, but for which assent or withholding thereof was not communicated before the end of the tenure of the last Assembly. Aware that the bills were regazetted as House Bills 1138, 1119, 1120 respectively, and read the first time. Resolved to commit the bills to the Committee of the Whole for consideration. And the bills were Federal University of Education, Aguilori, Anambra State Establishment Bill 2020, HB 1138, Nigerian Council for Management Development Act Amendment Bill 2020, HB 1119, and Chartered Institute of Statistics of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2020, HB 1120. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Second, go ahead. Your microphone, Honorable Robert.
Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Joe Robert Down. I speak for the people of Kwande and Ushungu. I rise second the bill as moved by the chairman business. Also second. Motion as so moved by. Also second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. The day is a motion on call for the reconstruction of Edepe Ogbia and Opolo Elebele Emeya Road in Ogbia Federal Constituency of Bayelsa State. Standing in the name of Honorable Fred Obua. Honorable Obua is invited to move the motion. Honorable Fred, are you here? Okay. Motion moves a step down as motion step down as moved by the Chairman of Business and Rules. 11th order of the day is motion on need to rehabilitate Abaweri Road in order to ameliorate the difficulties being faced by Nigerians. Standing in the name of Honorable Bede Eke, Honorable Eke is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues. I remain Honorable Bede Uchenna Eke. I represent the good people of Abombise, Ngobala Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, this motion is the need to rehabilitate Abawere Road in order to ameliorate the difficulties being faced by Nigerians. The House notes the dilapidated state of Abawere Road, which links many states in the southeast and south-south geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Worried by the incessant loss of lives and properties to accidents, as well as losses in time and goods by commuters and transport companies due to the dilapidated state of the road, which criminals are now also taking advantage of to rob and abduct citizens traveling on the route. The House is also aware of the various efforts by Abia State government and individuals in the areas to rehabilitate the road to end the sufferings of motorists plying the road daily. The House therefore resolves, 1, to urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to, as a matter of urgency, begin rehabilitation of Abawere Road. The House also mandates the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance of this all-important motion. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ruru, you're on the second.
Mr. Speaker, I remain Kabir Al-Asarurum. I represent Rano Bunko, the Federal Constituency. The Speaker, my respected colleagues, I'm from Kano. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Bede. I so second.
Okay, honorable colleagues, this is an infrastructure motion, so we'll just put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. 12th order of the day is a motion on the need to rehabilitate the dilapidated federal roads in Kaima local government area of Kwara State. Standing in the name of Honorable Mohammed Omar Bill. Honorable Bill is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Speaker,
distinguished honorable colleagues, Mohammed Omar Bia is my name. I represent all the people of Bartin and Kayama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Kwara State. My distinguished honorable colleagues, I'm sorry I lost my voice. I cannot be there for all the... Mr. Speaker, my motion is on the need to rehabilitate the dilapidated federal roads in Kayaba local government area of Kwara State.
Honorable Bill, use your mic.
I lost my voice, please. That's what I'm saying. I can't speak out. I have cancer. Yes. No. Sorry, I lost my voice. I can't speak out. You just have to listen. Okay. Good. Mr. Speaker, my motion is therefore on the need to rehabilitate the dilapidated federal roads in Kayama local government area of Kwara State. The House notes that Kayama local government area in Kwara State shares boundary with Oyo State and Niger State respectively, and owing to abundant economic resources in the area and a proximity to Benin Republic, people come from neighboring states and Benin Republic to engage in economic activities. Aware that Kayama local government area can be accessed through Kayama Nibusa Road, Kayama Kishi Road, and Kayama Kosbos Road, through which farm produce are transported in commercial quantity to various parts of the country. Concerned that the three major routes identified as trunking routes are in deplorable conditions, thus causing untold hardship to commuters and indigents of the surrounding communities, thereby affecting their livelihood and economic activities. Worried that if the roads are not urgently reconstructed, Kayama local government area may be cut off from other states of the Federation, thus further making life unbearable for the people. Resolves to urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to include the rehabilitation of Kayama Nibusa Road, Kayama Kisi Road, and Kayama Kosobos Road in the 2021 budget or 2021 supplementary budget proposal. Mandate the Committee on Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to ensure implementation. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, I so move.
Honorable, allow the chair to concentrate. Honorable, allow the speaker to concentrate. Please go back to your seat. Go back to your seat.
Acting Chief Whip.
Sir.
Reduce your volume. Off your mic. It's okay. Any seconder? Seconder.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Mohammed Bargaza, member presenting East Southern Brunei from Sokoto State. I read this controversy moved by Honorable Bill. I so second.
Okay, this is also an infrastructure motion moved by Honorable Bill, seconded by Honorable Bagada. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. 13th order of the day is a motion on need to. Is Honorable Benila here? Chairman. Mohammed, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Benila is not on the floor. I move that the motion be stepped down by the leader of the House. And I also want the Secretary to know that this is the first time this motion is being listed. It should not be listed again. Thank you. I so move.
Okay. Step down. The 14th order of the day is a motion on call for dredging of Anambra River to save the coastal. When? Chairman Business and Rules. I don't know. Then I don't know why. I hear it's been taken before. This order, this 14th order of the day, Honorable Obidigwe's Chinedu's matter. I hear it's already been taken. That's what the clerk is informing me.
It must be a mishap in the Secretariat, Mr. Speaker. In that regard, I move that item number 14 be stepped down.
Honorable Chinedu is Honorable Chinedu here? Obidigwe. This matter has been taken, right? It has. Okay, so we'll step it down. Or we'll expunge it, not step it down. It's been taken.
Yeah, it should be expunged, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
It's a mishap in the Secretariat. Sorry.
Yeah. Expunged, yes. So, matter expunged, having been taken before now. 15th order of the day is a motion on need to investigate the encroachment and illegal logging and destruction of preserved wildlife habitat in Okomu National Park Games Reserve. Standing in the name of Honorable Dennis Idahosa. Honorable Idahosa is invited to move the motion. Is Honorable Idahosa here? I'm always having problems with this one. It's on now. It's on now. Is he here? Oh. Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues. My name is Honorable Dennis Idahosa. I represent Ovia Federal Constituency. I'm from Edo State. I rise to move a motion in the need to investigate the encroachment, illegal logging, and destruction of preserved wildlife habitat in Okomu National Park Game Reserve. The House notes that Okomu National Park in Ovia Southwest, Ovia Federal Constituency in Edo State is one of the national parks in Nigeria and holds a small fragment of the rich forest that once covered the region and is also the habitat for many endangered species. The House also notes that the rainforest ecosystem is home to about 33 species mammals, some of which are endangered, including the white-throated monkey, African buffalo, and the endangered African forest elephant with over 150 species of birds. Worried that the illegal logging activities within this park are extensive, compromising the ecosystem and endangering the wildlife in the park. The territorial encroachment on this reserve is a great threat to the safety of the endangered species in this park. Also worried that the reported case of illegal logging in Okomu Forest Reserve has led to a situation where elephants are running rampage on farmland, destroying crops and other valuable in local areas, local communities, concerned that if immediate action is not taken, both fauna and flora, which are of great importance to the national development, could be driven to extinction. Resolve, mandate the Committee on Environment to investigate the activities of illegal logging, encroachment, and other acts of inimical to the safety of endangered species in Okomu National Park and other national parks in Nigeria, and report back within 8 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Any seconder? Honorable Jide.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Olajide Olatubosun, representing Atisbo Shaki West Federal Constituency. I'm from Oyo State. I rise to second the motion moved by my brother and colleague, Honorable Dennis Idahosa. I so second.
Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. 16th order of the day is a motion on a call to investigate the Nigerian Police Force Pension Limited for failure to meet the pension and gratuity obligations. Stand in the name of Honorable. Is Honorable Adeyemi here? Please step down. Yeah.
Speaker, Honorable Ali Tawfiq is not on the floor. I move that the motion be stepped down by the leader of the House. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Motion step down. 17th order of the day is a new motion. Is a motion on the need to correct the erroneous heading of the petition filed by Hawa Abore against the United Bank of America on the actuated denials, malicious and illegal withholding of benefits if ill will and bias against the petitioner, standing in the name of Honorable Uzoma and Kema Bonta. Honorable Bonta, is he around? No, step down. Motion, step down. Okay, we're not going into committee of the whole. So we skip that, and which one? Item 18, step down. Honorable colleagues, we have reached the end of today's proceedings. We still have a little time. Does anybody have a matter of urgent public importance? Can you move that we suspend our rules so that we'll take that? We'll take two if there is any, but it has to be a matter I'm aware of. If you have a matter of urgent, because I think I have about 15 minutes to play around with. It's a very urgent matter. So, in the absence of any other matter, leader, you move for adjournment to tomorrow, 11 a.m.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Though Dogwa is my name, Mr. Speaker, I represent Dogwa Tudunwada Federal Constituency. Honorable members, I'm from Kano State. I rise to move as directed by the Right Honorable Speaker that this House do adjourn till tomorrow, Thursday, the 11th the 11th day of December 2020 by 11 a.m. I so move.
Thank you. Honorable Maki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I'm Abubakar Maki Eleman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Madam Moroni Kaugama Federal Constituency. I stand to second the motion heavily moved by the majority leader. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, so we adjourn to tomorrow 11 a.m. Please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. House adjourned to tomorrow 11 a.m.